Hello! Kamusta kayo? And welcome back to MG and Diego. Ang pangalan ko kay...
Just stop saying.
Hello! Kamusta kayo? Welcome back to MG and Diego. Ang pangalan ko ay Ovela.
I'm Angel.
And today we're reacting to the top 10 Philippines Traveler's Paradise video. You know, I've been putting this one up for so long because there are so many videos like this. But I finally decided to react to one, and I don't know if this one is good, but it's been suggested by somebody, and I was like, let's go for it.
Alright.
Let's do this.
Now I'm about to let you in on a little secret here. The hidden gem of Southeast Asia is right here. The Philippines. My favorite of all countries that I've traveled to. It is some of the most beautiful landscapes and the most incredible people you will ever come across. Now before you start taking advice from a random stranger, I want to give you a bit of my background. My name is Christian LeBlanc and I've spent the last 2 years traveling Southeast Asia. And with that, I've spent about 3 months of it in the Philippines. It's a country I plan to revisit very soon.
Is it Canadian?
Let's get started with the countdown. Number 10 is Boracay. Boracay is easily one of the most popular islands in all of the Philippines, and with that, it can get pretty busy sometimes. Now, that can be a good thing, that can be a bad thing. The great thing is, you can guarantee you can find some extremely beautiful hotels if that's in your budget. You can also find some relatively discount ones too, so budget shouldn't be too much of an issue here. The nightlife is pretty good, and the food selection is great. Boracay has everything from low-end hostels all the way up to extreme luxury hotels. It can be backpacked, but definitely expect to spend a bit more money here. The island of Boracay itself is extremely beautiful.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Some of the bluest waters you'll see, and some of the finest white sand beaches. I would assume this is how it got so popular. The population of the island has outgrown the infrastructure at least 10 times over, and this can lead to a lot of congestion.
Yikes.
But you're going to spend most of your time on the beach anyway, so what does that matter? Number 9, Oslab. Oslab is extremely well known for one thing, and that is the whale sharks. This is a place where you can actually go and swim right next to these gentle beasts.
Hell no!
They're gentle.
There's a little bit of controversy that surrounds this because the whale sharks are fed, but I'll leave that up to your discretion. It's such a humbling experience swimming next to an animal that could literally grow as large as a small bus. In record, they grow up to 40 feet, although it's very unlikely you'll see one this large. Only 30 minutes away, there's a couple sets of waterfalls. Tumalog is the most
Just a
impressive.
big dog.
I can do dolphins, not whales.
It's a water dog.
It's a beautiful mist. Now, if you're looking for more of an experience with the waterfalls, check out Aguinid Waterfalls, because you can actually scale up them, you can jump off of them. It's much more interactive than just looking at a waterfall.
No, that I can do.
I just want to swim in it.
Worth a visit. Number 8 on my list is Malapascua. It's
Malapascua.
very unlikely that you've heard of this place before, but there's a great reason to go, and it's this one animal that lives below the sea. It's very unlikely you've ever heard of this place, but Malapascua is home to one of the most beautiful creatures I've ever seen.
Dory!
The thresher shark. If you're a scuba diver, this is a must. There is no fish more impressive than the thresher shark. It has a long
What is
tail
wrong with
just
you?
like a scythe. You see it beautifully cutting through the water. For me, this made going to Malapascua 100% worth it. Now, the dive scene is incredible, but it's not the only thing. Malapascua Island itself is extraordinarily beautiful. Again, if you haven't already noticed the trend, extremely blue water, fine white sand beaches, and relatively expensive
I don't know about that. Look, it's very
this
dark.
definitely has to be something that you save up for.
That's
It's a very
terrifying.
small
It is
island,
that great?
and all the accommodations on the island are quite expensive. Do a little research. We even managed to find a bit of nightlife on this incredibly dormant island. My girlfriend Laura really hit it off with the locals. If you know anything about the Philippines, you'll probably be shocked that I put El Nido in 7th place. El Nido is easily one of the most beautiful places in the Philippines, and arguably the world. The beauty of this place leaves you in awe. Now let's start with the great things about this place. The 4-island tour is incredible because it lets you see the cerulean blue waters, the jagged cliffsides.
The pictures I've been seeing on Instagram.
It's nothing like you've ever seen before. The days in El Nido are unforgettable because you'll spend your entire day hanging around these beautiful landscapes. But this is where the problems start. When night hits, it becomes a bit less enjoyable, I'd say. El Nido's electrical grid is archaic at best. When we backpacked, we spent at least half of our nights in darkness. And worse than the dark, we spent it without any fan or air conditioning. It gets extremely hot in the
That's
Philippines.
why you
and when
don't
power goes out,
backpack.
I become a pretty unhappy camper. In addition to this, if you're planning to do anything like I do as a YouTuber, uploading is basically a no-go. The internet speeds are so slow, and it will drive you mad. Now there are some ways you can get around these inconveniences. If you spend a lot more money, you can actually stay at accommodations that will have backup generators, and this will at least help take care of the problem of your air conditioning going out, so you won't sweat to death at night. I want to end this on a positive note because despite all the inconveniences of El Nido, the beauty of this place makes it all worth it, so you have to go check it out. If you end up going, make sure you do the 4-island tour, and make sure you climb Tara Cliff if you're willing to risk your life. It's extremely jagged, but the view you get is unforgettable.
Why are rich people
The
so
next on my
careless?
list
White
is Bohol.
people.
Bohol is a large and magical island. There's so many things to see and do here. It never hurts to go around with locals. That's how we find some of the cool hidden gems, like this little hole in the ground. No pun intended.
Wow.
With Bohol being a big
Bohol.
island, you could
Bohol.
easily
Yeah.
spend 5 to 10 days
It's
here.
the whole I showed a
The most
picture of. I
popular of the
think.
You
beaches
did?
is Alona Beach. And this is a place where you can stay at a 5-star hotel or at a guest house or hostel. The pricing is definitely on the expensive end, but nothing unreasonable. Also a must in Bohol is to rent a scooter. Some of the most incredible riding I've ever done has been done here on this island. You take the scooter, you drive up further north from Alona Beach, and you'll end up visiting these guys. These are tarsiers. Animals only found in
Whoa!
Bohol. They basically sit like this all day, but what more could you ask for?
Cute!
I mean, just look at him. He's chilling. Monday.
They look like
Alright.
lemurs.
Also
They're
worth
creepy.
mentioning, I did go up further north to Anda Beach, and although I liked Anda, I didn't love it. I found it a bit of a dirty beach. For me, I would have preferred to have stayed in Alona Beach, rented a scooter, and used it to do day trips like seeing the Tarsiers, the Chocolate Hills, etc. You'll also
Chocolate
see a lot of
Hills.
European-inspired churches while exploring the Philippines. This one here was built by the Spanish, and it was actually shook up during an earthquake a few years ago. Just after visiting the Tarsiers, you're gonna see the man-made forest. And true to its name, it's a forest that was actually hand-planted by men. It's a really awesome feeling because as you drive down this narrow road, you feel like you're going through a tree tunnel. It's great for Instagram goals, and it's definitely an awesome feeling as you're riding on your scooter. After the man-made forest, about another 35-45 minutes up north, you'll be going through what some people deem the main attraction of Bohol. These are the Chocolate Hills, and you'll notice they look extremely similar to a Hershey Kiss. I don't know if that's why they've been called that, but the name is definitely fitting. You can drive up to the top of one of the hills and actually get a pretty good vista of the entire mountain range. I definitely recommend it. Number 5 is a place that's on very few people's lists. Dumaguete is an incredible place, and there's a lot to see and do here. It's a place I spent almost 2 weeks scuba diving and exploring its beautiful nature. If you go to Dumaguete, check out Casaroro Falls. I know I'm probably butchering it,
This
but I'll
guy's
write it
a
down
traveler.
below. Right across from Dumaguete is a short boat ride to Apo Island. Make sure you check out this place. Apo Island translates into
It's
English
massive.
as Turtle Island,
right? Yeah.
and it's well named because everywhere you go is serious dirt, brah. There's sea turtles everywhere, and these
That
chillers
was
are
a
used to
fail.
having people around, so they don't mind when you swim up next to them. Just make sure not to touch them. This is by no means in Dumaguete, but this is one of the must-dos of
Look
the
at this
Philippines.
place.
This here is Manjuyod Sandbar. I call this place the Maldives of the Philippines.
Yeah.
It's about a 2 to 3 hour drive to get here from Dumaguete, but every single minute of the ride is worth it. Once you arrive at a little dock, you take a boat across about 45 minutes, and you arrive in paradise. If you have that extra time, or you want to take your Instagram to a whole nother level, you better check out Manjuyod
This guy.
Sandbar. Those are just a
I
few
would be
of the
afraid
things
to
you
have
can
my
do in
phone
Dumaguete.
in
There's
water.
nightlife, there's great restaurants, and a whole lot of nice
Karaoke.
hotels and resorts. This is a place for anyone on any budget. Number 4, almost on the podium, but not quite, Kawasan Falls,
We should go
also
there.
known as Badian Canyoneering.
I don't think I can handle
Now,
this much
before I even get
happiness.
into this,
Like
if
my
you're not
body's
too afraid of
already
heights and
feeling
you're not afraid to
anxious
get wet, this
'cause
is
it's
one of the
just too
coolest
much
things that you can do in the
paradise.
Philippines. It's a full day trip where you're guided through these very narrow crevasses where the water flows down,
Crevasses?
creating these awesome little
Crevices?
waterfalls. It's such a unique and amazing experience that you really can't find that many places in the
Look at
world.
these
I brought my expensive slow motion
adventurous
camera and
people
allows you
jumping
water
into
crafting.
things.
I risked it for you
I don't
guys.
jump
You're welcome.
nothing.
Oh, I jump
Badian
into
Canyoneering
things.
is
I
a
just don't
guided
do whales
expedition,
and sharks.
you
bro.
cannot
walk
do this alone. By
into
law, you need
things.
to have a guide, and I highly recommend it anyways. You would not want to do this alone. It's not too expensive. From my memory, it's about $30 US. You get a guide, and he shows you through the canyons. He pushes you off the cliffs,
Nope.
and you even get a meal out of it. So it's not too bad.
Yes.
At the end of the canyon is the
You're doing that
world-renowned
without me.
Kawasan
That's
Fall.
fine.
This waterfall
I'll do it with
literally
my
looks like the
kabayans.
exit to the
Oh
Gatorade
my
factory.
God.
The water is this weird fluorescent blue that looks like it should be
can't jump.
bottled and sold to people at a very high price. The water is quite cold, so it's a very nice refreshing break after a long day of jumping through canyons. Now I must mention that when this was filmed, I was actually one of the
massage
last
time.
groups to have gone through the Badian Canyon in quite some time, and I'm not even sure if they've reopened. The municipal government shut it down because they were worried about erosion. So do a little research. Hopefully it's reopened because it is one of the top things to do in the Philippines. Also, random insert, you'll see roosters everywhere in the Philippines. Cockfighting is basically a national sport.
What?
I named him Fred. The bronze medal
That's
goes to my
not
favorite landscape in
safe,
the
right?
entire world. This beach is seriously heaven, and I don't use that word lightly. It is my favorite.
Where
I'm
is it?
honestly blown away that to this day, Nakpan has not been developed as a resort town. This is the most incredible landscape that I've ever seen.
Nakpan?
Now, if you remember, we talked about El Nido being in 7th or 6th place. Well, Nakpan is about a 45-minute scooter ride away from El Nido. So again, if you were on the edge of going to El Nido, consider this. You will get Nakpan and El Nido together because they're only a scooter ride away from each other. The problem with Nakpan is this. Because it's such a beautifully untouched landscape, there's
Disney.
nothing on it. There's really only a couple guest houses with which they have no electricity after a certain hour. I think it's after 6 p.m. You have two options. You can either rough the heat and stay in a very basic guest house on one of the most beautiful beaches in the entire world, or you can just rent a scooter from El Nido and drive back to your hotel, resort, wherever you're staying in El Nido. But one of the most epic day trips you'll ever do. This island here is my silver medal. It's probably my favorite island in the entire world, and it's easily the best island in the Philippines. It is the definition of exploring, getting lost, and seeing things that few others have ever seen before. Bantayan Island is basically like Boracay before Boracay blew up. It has the beauty that will one day become a developed area, but for right now, this is a place that you can experience to yourself. There's so much to do here, from exploring the jungle to exploring the beautiful beach that surrounds the entire island. There's even goats that freely roam. This is Jerome.
I'm out.
Definitely check out the mangroves. They're these little trees that grow on the water. Go explore the other side of the island where
We're
there's
not
literally
explorers.
no identifiable landmarks. Just beautiful, untouched nature, and so many kids just playing on the side of the road. Definitely say hi to them. They really appreciate it, and they're a lot of fun to hang out with. I joined a few kids in playing some basketball.
Just hang out
and it
with
was
some
definitely one of
kids.
the highlights to my day. It wouldn't be a perfect
I
island
will
experience
kidnap
without
all
a
of them
perfect
myself.
sunset. Bantayan certainly has a lot of them. In fact, the Philippines has plenty of them. I don't think I've seen more beautiful sunsets in my entire life. You really start to take
this
them
guy
for
is in
granted
love
because
with the
every single
Philippines,
night
eh?
You get a sunset
We're
that
moving.
could easily be one of the most beautiful you've ever seen.
Look at them.
Now, I don't want to call it the winner because everyone's a winner, guys. But just kidding. This is the winner of my
But just
top
kidding.
10 of the
This is the
Philippines. Korun. Korun is definitely not the easiest of places to get to. It's
Then why-
pretty far north.
then
In
it's
fact,
not the
even
best
farther
place.
north than
Just
El
let
Nido.
him.
It's more inaccessible than El Nido, and it can definitely be a bit of an expensive place to visit because it's so inaccessible. You either take
Wonderful.
like a 5-hour ferry from El Nido, or you can fly directly from Manila. Definitely expect to pay top dollar because the flights aren't cheap. This is not a cheap place to go. Now it's time to show you why you're willing to spend your money to come here and why
There's a
you're willing to
Canadian
deal with
flag
the
on his
inconvenience
back.
of getting
There you go.
Korun is simply out of this
He's a
world.
fool
I
from
can't compare it to
Toronto or
anything, to be
Vancouver.
honest. It's like New Zealand and
Ontario.
Africa had a baby.
Le Blanc.
And it was beautiful. As always,
Probably.
my favorite thing to do is rent a scooter. It's the first thing I do whenever I get to a new place. Get a scooter, go explore this island.
Do you
You'll be
have to have
blown
a
away. Now, I must
driver's
say
permit
that the roads we took
for
on our
scooters?
scooters were basically like off-roading. There was some very loose gravel, some huge rocks that we were driving over. But the
This looks
feeling
like
of
Cameroon
exploring
a
where
bit.
few have explored
With the
before
red
was
sand
so worth it.
of
Similar to
dirt.
Bohol,
Yeah.
they have mountains that look like the Hershey Kisses. They're not called the Chocolate Hills, but they're very similar looking. When we drove down this road, we probably didn't see tourists for the entire day. This might sound scary to some of you, but it's one of the most amazing things. The local Filipino people are some of the friendliest and most accommodating people. Definitely don't take that as a bad thing. It's an incredible feeling of truly getting lost in a place that you've never been before. Now, after
Look
exploring the
at them.
rural side of Coron for the
Amazing.
day, we went to the more touristy spots. There's these beautiful hot springs where people generally come for
Now
sunset.
that's what I'm
If
talking
you come
about.
here around 5 p.m., you can definitely expect to see tons of other travelers. It's a really cool way to meet people. The next day, my girlfriend and I and a couple of friends rented kayaks, and we went and kayaked all the way across to a set of islands. Now, I don't know if I recommend the kayaking because it truly was a very, 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 very difficult workout.
Exhausting,
but it's
yeah.
good to stay in shape while traveling, so maybe this is the best option for you.
Yeah,
What
this guy,
shape?
this
It
guy,
depends what shape you already have going in. Because staying in
maybe
this
check
shape
that out if you don't want
means
to go
eating and
through
sleeping all day.
excruciating heat in a kayak. But when we made it to the other side, the work was so worth it. Similar to the landscapes of El Nido, you have the jagged cliff sides, the incredibly blue water, and the feeling of being cut off from the
this
rest
drone
of the
is
world.
very high up.
It's extremely energizing to do that every now and then. These are among some of my favorite drone shots I've ever captured. Thank you,
Beautiful.
Run. This is Laura looking graceful, but then she got bit by a fish. At
There
the end
you
of the
go.
day, we put up the white flag and we paid someone to tow our kayaks back behind their motorboat. It was the best decision we ever made.
Nice.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's an understatement.
Oh!
It's fantastic. It's
I want to
amazing.
go now.
But see, it's very misleading. Traveler's paradise. What's a traveler really?
What? Someone who's not,
Like him?
who leaves their country?
Yeah, but tourists can be considered travelers, right? And
I guess
tourists,
it's people who enjoy traveling for the sake of traveling.
yeah, but tourists don't necessarily want to go and do all of this and swim and struggle and do
Yeah,
this
so
and that.
they're
No.
not. I think what he means travelers is people, explorers maybe.
Yeah, explorers. That's what I would say. He's more of an
Yeah.
explorer who wants to shoot amazing
Instagram
landscapes and everything for his YouTube video and
Instagrammable
Instagram.
moments.
Yes.
For money.
I could tell he was Canadian, man, because they are so adventurous, you know?
Really?
Oh yeah, they love to do this kind of stuff.
Americans too.
Even at work, I have friends who are like, oh yeah, this summer I'm just going to Peru, you know, by myself with just a backpack, you know?
You know,
What the
that's just it's just
I
a
don't know
Caucasian
one.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
I
very
don't know
Caucasian
one
thing.
black person or
I've ever heard
or
say
Arab
that.
person like me who does this kind of stuff.
I've never heard.
You know?
I'm trying to think. No.
Even the guy who did the 8-minute in the Philippine video, I think that guy is Arab. He showed Manila, right? Mostly. He didn't just go off and and risk his life. They like to risk their life. They like to live on the edge.
Yeah.
That is not me.
They go into the wild and, you know,
yeah.
gamble with their lives because
It's like life is
who
just.
cares, right?
No, it's not. Who cares? It's their lives. I guess are I don't know, mundane maybe.
Maybe.
They don't feel much during their
You
routine.
know, I mean, that's what they argue.
I like routine.
There's the argument that white people in the world are the least hunted. Yeah,
So they're bored?
discriminated. So they feel so safe that they go seeking danger.
Hmm.
But when you grow up being discriminated, being picked on,
When you have a green passport that doesn't let you go anywhere,
when you feel
trust.
like immigration can kick you out at any moment, you know, you live with a certain
you know how to
danger.
appreciate the little things.
every
you know?
day that you're like, anxiety, I know it well. I don't need more of it. And you don't go jumping off of cliffs for no
And
reason.
swimming with sharks.
Yes. And swimming
I mean,
with
come on,
sharks.
cuz.
And when you have family and you realize that your life isn't just yours, it's other people's as well, and they would be sad if something happens to you, and responsibility and connectedness, then you're less likely to gamble with your life like, oh, so what if people grieve my death? I don't care about them. YOLO.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I mean, if we go there,
Conjecture.
if we go there,
Generalizing.
obviously we will visit Manila, you know, the big cities, and also these some of these small places where we feel safe. You know, where we can always come back to safety. You know?
White sands, blue water. That's all I want. So I think the first place he mentioned, and Bohol.
And I'm not saying
Good for me.
safety, and I'm not saying safety against people, because I think the Filipinos are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
More like against nature, really,
Yes.
because I can't take too much heat. You know, I
Too
can't.
many wild
yeah.
creatures that I don't know the history of. I don't know where they come from, what they've been through,
Yeah.
how their morning went. I don't want to encounter them on a bad day
Yeah.
and get eaten.
I mean, we went to Cuba, and I couldn't take that heat for more than 2 hours. Like, it's just too much. Gotta be careful.
You don't want to swim with the sharks?
No. No. I like to swim. I will swim, but not with the sharks.
You know, I've eaten enough fish that I feel like a shark. I would just see it and be like, what's up, brother? Some choice fish in here tonight, right? Yeah.
I mean, there's a clear difference between this guy and us. We're more into music and this and that. He's obviously just a traveler. I mean,
Just a
just a traveler. He's a traveler.
Rich.
You know, having fun. Yeah.
We're just not the same type of travelers.
No.
That's all it is. I was talking about this with a friend. It depends on the type of vacation or trip you're taking. There are trips that are about business. There are trips that are about discovery and exploring. And there are trips that are about relaxation. You have to know why you're going to a place. And that will inform what you will do and where you will stay.
No, I like to discover and explore if I can come back at the end of the day to a hotel or
Somewhere
a
clean.
decent place, you
Yes.
know? But I'm not gonna spend...
Rough it.
Yeah, like in a tent or whatever. No.
Maybe if it's a clean tent. I know. I enjoy plumbing and electricity.
I
so-
slept in a tent with a bat. No. And when I got out of the tent, I saw like a huge snake just pass through. No, it's just not for me.
We don't have the same camping experience, clearly.
No.
Mine was on the beach in the south of France, so it was very safe.
Me was in Kenya in a safari,
that's
but
not the same.
No, but the tent was immaculate. It was like a luxurious tent.
Yeah, your tent was like a home. It was huge. You could stand in it.
Yeah, but you.
Mine was those tiny crawl to sleep tents.
But you are reminded of the fact that you're still
You're
in the
nature,
wilderness.
of course.
You know, the animals are there.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's not the same.
And I like animals. I'm just saying, I don't want to be in danger. That's all.
Don't.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful country. We will definitely come when we are ready. Yes, just make sure to leave a bunch of Wi-Fi for us, because we need to keep uploading YouTube videos.
Collect Wi-Fi for us, everyone, please. Put it in a jar, and when we come, hand it to you. Funny.
Thanks for watching.
No, I wasn't ready.
Subscribe here. Blah blah blah. Okay. Thanks for watching. Like this video below.
What? Okay.
Good.
Yes.
Thanks for watching.
Please like this video
Subscribe here and amazing things will happen.
and turn on your notification bell to be poked for future videos.
Yum.
Yeah. One more time.
Oh my